Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's April 28th, Sunday. Doing a live show a little later than usual. I'll be waiting on possibly Pickels. He's in Vegas trying to recover from his hangover at the concert he went to. I'm pretty sure Fedora will be showing up pretty soon, and I am myself a little bit hungover as well. I was in Prosser. He's part of Washington this weekend for a little wine tasting extravaganza, and I think I drank the whole barrel of wine that was presented to me. So, just want to say thanks everyone for your continued support. We grew quite a bit, 618 subscribers now. We're almost at that 2,400 mark as far as hours, kind of uh allocated, accumulated, whatever you want to say. So I'll extend kind of the giveaway for another week, see if we can get up to that 2,400 mark, but we're around 2313, I want to say, but I don't know if we'll make it there. But I'm a man of my word. I promise to give away a graded either comic book or video game coming up here if we get to 2,400 views in the next week or so. I'm not sure if anyone ate last week, but we did highlight one particular comic book, and let's just see how it's doing. Well, not we. I'd say Fedora did. Harley Quinn, 39. And I did see it show up on a couple shows. I think Ben Stein had this highlighted, and it actually made the #1 book. So congrats to you, Fedora, for calling that out. We don't do a lot of FOC very often because it's too risky. In my opinion, I've never really been a big supporter of it, but Fedora does pick one every so often. And I mean, this one's ending today, 4 hours. I paid like $60 for mine. Haven't got it yet, so we'll see if we actually get it. But let's just see what some of the souls are going for. Oops. Let's get back in there before we start. I was just really curious on my drive back home if this book was catching some heat over the week. Yeah, $114.99. That's pretty healthy, I guess. I'm not sure the exact amount was after the offer was accepted, but I don't know how legitimate this sale is. It's from yesterday. $150 though, man. It's quite a bit. I mean, it's quite a bit over ratio. Man, this Souls of Micah just, oh my gosh. I feel bad for people that are sending this to CGC in anticipation that this was going to be a good variant to hold on to or flip into 9.8. But yeah, 118. So not crazy advances so far, but it's kind of a tough call whether if you are going to flip this bad boy for some dough or if you're just going to hold on to it. It might turn into the Harley Quinn 37 variant that so many people have fallen in love with. But yeah, we'll see. I guess we'll see what happens. And so kind of continuing on to the show and kind of the reason we're doing the show today, I was a little curious of, I don't know, the comic book hobby has been a little, consolidating, I guess you'd say. You don't get the 9.8s, 9.6 like prices that, you've been probably looking for a long time. And there's always a question of like, buying the bottom or looking into getting a 9.8, CGC book for $50 and then hold on to it for a couple years and flipping that to 100. I don't know if I mean, personally for me, it's not really like I'm not really into like the investment so much of holding on to a $50 9.8 and then flipping it in 2 years or like selling it in 2 years. It's just not really my forte. It takes up a lot of space. There's a lot of risk. I'm more looking to liquidate some things that I don't really enjoy as much. I still enjoy the hobby, like I said in the past, but I really trying to be particular on what type of stuff I'm collecting or trying to buy, discounted items in. And last week we did like a top 10 modern market Grail report, but this week, we focused a lot on Marvel keys and DC because, those are the two big two, but there's a lot, I think, more opportunity, especially since Fedora has talked a lot about the younger Gen Z, Gen A, whatever, what have you. What's up, Cody? I hate Best Brad. Oh man, Dollar Bin Bandit. Yeah, for sure, man. What's going on, guys? Michael Baker. What's going on, brother? But yeah, I just think like there's a lot of more there's more opportunity personally, I think, in the independent publishers versus the uh yeah, hell yeah, man. Hop in. Oh yeah, dude. Pickles is gonna try and hop in for a little bit. He's at the pool, so he's in our face. But and Fedora is backstage. What's going on, Fedora? I'm just kind of guessing around a little bit. So you haven't missed anything yet. What's going on?
I can hear you.
Oh, what do you got? Red Bull or is that a mocha frappuccino?
Yeah, it's a Red Bull, baby.
Red Bull, baby.
Yeah.
Pickles is in Vegas right now at the pool. He's not coming back in until tomorrow, but he's gonna try and jump in. We'll see what happens.
Oh, he's gonna pull a Fedora.
he's gonna pull up a lazy Fedora, man, because he's not gonna be walking around. He's just gonna be at the pool with his shirt off and his new haircut.
Hey, listen, as long as you outside, I'm changing the podcasting game. You don't understand. Pretty soon everybody's gonna be outside. And then that's just the way we're gonna do podcasts.
Yeah. Pool Pickles, yeah, man. Pool Pickles is gonna come soon.
Yeah, man. Next week, just a heads up. Next week,
yeah.
I gotta cover somebody's shift. They went on vacation, so I'm doing the comic book store early in the morning.
Okay.
And then, because we open up at 8 a.m. And then I have to do FedEx after.
Oh, okay. So you got double shift.
Yeah, bro. It's just.
Hey, man, you gotta pay the bills, man. I mean, we all gotta work, so it's all good, man. This is just for fun. So, and here we go. We got Pickles at.
Yeah, we outside. Yo, first you gotta go outside, bro. Now you have to go outside.
Hey, what's up, Wade? Hey, Fedora, say something again. Your microphone kind of went down a little bit.
No, I said we all outside. You gotta.
Okay, now I can hear you. You're good now.
Yeah,
okay, cool.
Yo, bro, you gotta go out. You gotta go outside your house and do this podcast.
I'll think about it. Hey, hold on real quick. I want to do a solo layout on Jason real quick.
I'm out of the pool right now, as you can tell.
Bro, you gotta do it with the shades on in the pool.
I can't see the screen.
There you go. You don't need to see the screen.
That's awesome, dude.
You don't need to see the screen.
Too much noise outside in the real world. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, kind of what I was talking about earlier was like, I think there's a, like Fedora, man, I feel like you're an independent guru, if you will, just because the Gen Z peeps are like more into that type of comic book stuff. So, and then like, I got to give a shout out to Michael Baker for some good market reports he sent me today on some Spawn stuff that I was just like, what the hell? It's going to be part of our show today. But I wanted to look at like modern independent Grails, possibly more attainable than like, Marvel Grails or like silver, bronze, even like, copper stuff. But yeah, man, we'll try and keep the show really quick. I know like we started a little bit late today, so I apologize. I'm still hungover from Prosser. Too much wine, dude, over on the east side, man. It's like Pickles, you know all about all the wine that we drank, dude. We went to like so many places yesterday, but it was a good time. Anyway.
I was trying to do the math on how much I had to drink yesterday at the festival. It was a lot.
Dude, how was it real quick before we get into the show?
It was really good. Like, I got to see all the bands that I wanted to see.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody sounded great. So yeah, it was legit.
Who was the main attraction of the show?
The headliners?
Yeah.
It was System of a Down and Slipknot.
Oh, dude. That's awesome.
And then I was there to see, what was it, Lorna Shore, Spirit Box. What else did we see? Lamb of God. Who else played? Primus, Bring Me the Horizon, friggin' Bad Omens, Slipknot, Sleep Token. Yeah, there's a lot of bands.
State of Filth, is that the concert you went to?
Huh?
State of Filth? Brad's asking.
It was called Sick New World.
Oh, Sick New World. Okay. Commander Cody wants to know, is Spirit Box good live?
Yes, that's
Yes.
the second time I've seen them live. They played last year too.
Oh,
A friend of mine was on tour with them doing like he was in a band. He was like in another like semi big band, and they hired him to do like stage work for them. So I got to see them live. I think twice. Yeah,
very cool, man.
They were pretty good.
Yeah, I love it. Cool, man. Well, Jason, I know. What are you doing tonight? You doing anything fun?
I think we're going to Javier's Steakhouse to eat.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say you're probably going to a steakhouse somewhere. What hotel are you staying at?
The Palazzo at the Venetian.
Oh, fancy.
Well, we stayed at Mandalay last year, and
Yeah.
it was too long of a trek down the strip to get to the show.
Where was the show at?
The festival grounds.
What is that?
It's what are they? Las Vegas Festival Grounds. I don't know. It's just like a big open lot area that had like 5 stages.
Is it on the strip? I don't think it is, right?
Yeah, it's at the end of it. It's across from the Sahara.
Oh wow, man!
Yeah.
Last time I went to Vegas was a couple years ago. I haven't been since, but I think wifey and I need to make a trip down there again. So, all right, we're about 10 minutes into the show. I want to thank Pickels and Pickels on the road, so to speak, and Fedora with his normal streets of New York. We're international today, not really, but maybe one day we will be international. Maybe we'll do a stream, all three of us, like in Japan one day.
I mean, technically, Canada's international.
That is true. I could stream from Canada, but that would Mexico, dude. It's possible. I might be streaming from a boat one day. We'll see. I don't know. I doubt it, but we'll see. All right. Without further ado, let's get into there's more than 10. Just to let you guys know. So, Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic #9, first appearance of Revan. I felt like, even though we're not really specking too much on non-Marvel character canon, whatever have you, I think it's a little too risky with the price point. This is more just for like, if you're looking for this book, this are the prices for it now. I don't necessarily spec on Revan anymore. I haven't played the game ever, so I can't really say that, oh, it's such a cool game, I want to get Revan as like one of the characters or whatever. But so to speak, I think this cover's always been a fun one. I've had a couple copies of this book before in the past, and it's sold okay, but that was quite a while ago. Have either of you guys ever played the game?
No, I didn't have a computer. That's in the Old Republic for like Xbox or computer, so no, I didn't really.
Okay.
I didn't have either.
You did though, Jason, right?
I didn't own it, but I played it at like the neighbor's house.
Okay. So it's still pretty like, I mean, he's a revered character, right? Like, I'd say he's the one. Like, I wish Luke would have done what he did in the comic books, but I mean, just using this as a barometer for the current state of Revan, he still gets pretty good money. I know this is probably less than 650. I've seen the highest I've seen lately is like 600 on average, but I feel like that's pretty healthy, for Revan and like the spec and all that. So, are you guys Revan buyers at all? Just period, based on the character.
Am I what? Am I
like, do you like Revan as like a PC, or do you feel like it's a modern Grail?
For Star Wars, yeah.
Yeah.
I would say for Star Wars, just Star Wars.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's a modern. I think it's definitely a modern Grail, for sure. But it's a little too high for my price point. I think those are definitely like people that want, like, Star Wars fans are funny, right? Like, they fall in love with they fall in love with like a character they're probably gonna hold on to for a long time. But I consider it a Grail as far as modern Grails are concerned. Brad disagrees, and that's cool. But with that said, like, I'm not paying $600 for it. But I think it's a cool book regardless. So yeah. Next up, the most annoying Nintendo video game of all time. I think Pickels, aka Jason, could agree to attest to this. Oh yeah, Brad, for sure. And I think we talked about Clone Wars #1 being a Grail too. So that's like a major Grail for sure. But this TMNT, Number 4, the second print, obviously gets a lot of love because of the video game, video game cover. You can pair it along with your TMNT Nintendo video game from back in the day. The last Raw I saw was 45. Um, I don't know if the market is spiking in this. Let's take a look real quick. Uh,
Like spiking with the last Ronin news, or just in
just
general?
in general. But like this one's 127. Like the last one I saw was 49, and it was like an okay condition. But yeah, I wonder if this will spike with the last Rona news. I mean, 199.99 for 9.0. That's pretty healthy. That's April 19th. And again, this one's from
That's a lot
Australia.
of money for a 9.0 on.
Yeah, exactly, right? So I feel like this holds like pretty well. You know what I mean? So what's up, Trev? Thanks for coming through, man.
If it ever gets too loud, too, let me know and I'll mute the microphone because there's like some party pool that's happening like over there somewhere. I think it's Tao.
Ferd could
I heard it was
anybody.
Tao?
Tao, the nightclub.
Oh yeah.
Outdoor pool area.
Tao's been around forever, man. I can't believe that place is still around. They got good food. Nah, their food sucks, but I can just mute you. I can mute you if like it gets too loud. I'm gonna mute you real quick though. Fedora, have you seen this in your store ever?
No.
Yeah.
I know we get like I know we had like I know we had some early issues of TMNT, like the first appearance of April O'Neil, like
That's
third
cool.
appearance of Shredder, but we've never had that one. I feel like that one's a bit rare, in my opinion, but we don't get like TMNT ones at all.
Yeah. I think what's cool about it, I'm gonna ask Pickels on this one. Yeah, I think for this, for me at least, like, what was I gonna say? I think it's like, I'm gonna ask Pickles on this, like, dude, Jason, we didn't know each other when we played this game probably, but like I hated this game, but I think what this does for me, because I'm always on the search for this book, is when I see this cover, when I see this exact cover, it takes me back to that point in time. And the fact that it's a second print of a comic book, like those don't happen very often back then. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it adds a little bit to that nostalgia, the rarity, the collectability of the book. Pickles, are you ever like looking for this book though at all? Period.
Yeah, I have it in my search history as far as like if it pops up with a good price, I'm definitely looking for it. But
How much?
like you said, it does.
How much did you pay for this? For like a 9.0?
A 9.0?
Yeah.
I don't even know what the current prices are for it now because I haven't looked at it in a minute.
Well, I just showed one. It was like 199
for a 9.0.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I would pay that.
Yeah. It seems pretty high. I mean, like, I would pay that for a third print 9.0 of the number 1, but like, yeah, it seems pretty high. I don't know. I like this cover. And Doc Joe, what's going on, man? Doc Joe was in the Discord showing off some of his pickups from the other day, and man, he had some nice stuff. I was really impressed. Like I always am. I'm like, Doc Joe's like the Kobe Bryant of like comic book collectors. Like, if he's not scoring at least 25 a game, I'm like shocked. But anyway, that's a little Doc Joe is showing off some, like I said, Doc Joe is showing off some good stuff in the Discord today. So
did you see some of those books that Phil? Did you see his Instagram story today?
No.
Where, like how he skipped C2E2 to go to a local show.
Oh yeah, I saw that, but I didn't. I read the whole thing. What did he do?
He nabbed that Crow number 1 and fucking all that other shit from there. I was like, holy fuck, dude. It's like, how the hell did he like nab all? Like, I go to like an offbeat show and it's like I'm finding like X-Men books that nobody cares about, like Spiderman nothings and this and that. It's like he walks out of there with like a Crow number 1.
Dude, Phil is like a machine. He like, I don't know how he has like full-time job and then like does comic book hunts like on the road as much as he does, but like he just loves it. Like, I love collecting, but I don't want to ever lose sleep like he does. But like, kudos to him, man. He it's a passion for him, like, for sure.
Oh yeah,
yeah, it's ridiculous in a good way. So 30 Days of Night #1. I remember when I was in like a kid, but when this comic book came out, man, it was different. I don't remember seeing copies of this like ever go for less than $150 when I was like in college. I remember the raw was going for like 400 at one time in the early 2000s. It's probably the creepiest comic book I've ever read, like 100%. The movie didn't really do it justice. Maybe if they did it in a different tone like today, that'd be a lot better. But man, $199 for a 9.8 though, which I thought was crazy. Pickles, I'm gonna go to you first. Did you like the movie or the comic book better?
I liked the comic book better, but I didn't mind the movie either.
Yeah.
Like, I took it for what it was. Like, at that point in time, nobody was really making good, like, adaptations, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there was a few here and there that hit, but I didn't mind the movie. I thought it was good. I like Josh Hartnett, though, so that helps. I
Yeah.
guess. I liked him as an actor.
I think the one thing about the movie was when Josh Hartnett became a vampire, the comic book was a lot more like eerie and like dark, and how he became probably because of Steve Niles' art. But in the movie, it wasn't like that. Was kind of what I was waiting for. With that said, though, I still like the movie. I've watched it like a few times. Maybe it'd be cool to get the movie sealed too and like get it graded. I like grading across multiple properties or medias, so that'd be kind of cool. Pickles, I'm gonna mute you for a second. I'm gonna go to okay, cool, thanks, man. Fedora, man. What I feel like this is kind of up your road as far as like genre, man. What do you think about this book?
I think we get enough people asking for it.
Yeah.
Like, we get people that don't know about comics, and then they'll be like, "Yo, do you have 30 Days of Night, the first one?" And then like, it's cool because they don't know that it's actually worth something. So when people ask that, that's usually like a good sign that they just want to read it, and maybe they don't know that it's worth X amount of dollars.
Uh-huh.
And then there's this 11-year-old kid that comes in with his grandma to buy like books, and he was asking about it. He was asking for the graphic novel, and I feel like now the skater goth punk look is coming back into prominence, like slowly. Like we're not, the wave is approaching. So obviously I've been a part of that wave, but it's cool to see the younger generations of kids like really getting excited about metal, getting excited about the Crow, getting excited about, all these like vampire type stuff is coming back. Like horror is coming back, the goth culture is coming back. A friend of mine, she's the manager of one of the biggest punk stores in the world called Trash and Vaudeville, and even she's telling me that she's seeing like some volume coming back into the store that reminded her of like 10, 20 years ago. So obviously, this is definitely one of those books that I've never seen the movie, but I remember when it came out and all of my goth friends were talking about it.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh, this is cool," stuff like that. So even when you look at the anime, some of the biggest animes are like really dark in tone. It's Demon Slayer, Jujutsu Kaisen. A lot of people have been buying Death Note recently in my shop.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, so this is telling you like, if you're looking to maybe buy low, this might be like a good book to pick up, because I'm pretty sure this is gonna come back up in conversation within the next year or so with like the Crow and all that other stuff. So I would say that this is like a good, like if I had $200, well, I mean I do have money, but like if I was literally gonna go into like that horror genre and invest in like a horror book, 30 Days of Night is gonna be on like my top 20 list of books to buy.
Yeah. And this is kind of what the purpose of the show is today, like to kind of open your eyes to stuff that like, because it was kind of nice going through this list today and being like, okay, do not look at DC, don't look at Marvel, look at some old school stuff that you kind of enjoyed as a kid, or just what's kind of currently like a genre that is hitting. and I felt like this was one that I couldn't like not list. This is definitely a mature type of book, right? So, and yes, Michael, Fedora does not sell or flip books,
Oh yeah, no,
100%.
I don't. But like, cause now I feel like Junji Ito has kind of peaked
Uh-huh.
a bit, and now people who like Junji Ito are gonna look to like different mediums in comics to
Mm-hmm.
find similar things. So who knows? Like they may, oh shit, 30 Days of Night was a comic.
Mm-hmm.
Let me go and find that.
Yeah,
And I haven't heard anybody talk about 30 Days of Night
in a
for a
long
very
time.
long time until
Mm-hmm.
just recently. And then when I look at like what's going on in fashion, in the movie industry, and we were even talking about Fangoria, that
Mm-hmm.
Megan Fox cover. A lot of people have been buying that up recently. So I think horror is gonna find its way into like the niche world of comic books soon. So
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, I mean, like, this has just always been like one I've always like, I haven't seen it in a long time. And so when I was looking, like, I was thinking, like, okay, what's 2000s or like what's like before 2010? This was a book that I thought would be a really good addition to the list. So, that's good feedback, man, for sure. You Spawn fans are probably gonna love this one, but shout out again to Mr. Michael Baker for putting this one on my lookout list, I guess, if you will. Spawn 350, the unsigned version, went for 5K in 9.8. There's only a
what?
few. Yes, the unsigned version went for 5K. Let me see if I can find real quick what he sent me. Again, Michael Baker, thank you
Sweet.
again for that.
So the
To get
unsigned
to the
version
book
is
to
the
make
one
it
that everybody
that
wants.
worth that much.
Yes. So here we go. Hold on. It's a retailer. Thank you. Variant. Yada yada. I'm sharing this tab. So 51 bids. Oh, sorry, 4,350. I apologize. For the
That's around.
unsigned retailer thank you cover, because evidently, and correct me if I'm wrong, chat. Yeah, this was every cover except for a few were signed, or some just didn't made it out without being signed. And so the irony of it is that these ones are going for more than the actual signed ones, whether you know that or not. So if you see an unsigned version at your LCS, which I actually saw this book at one of our LCSs here in Washington, pick it up, man, because like it goes for hella. That's so funny. I mean, I don't know. Like, I think for me, if I had this, I would sell it and then I would use the money to buy a signed one, because man, like, that's just crazy. I wouldn't call it artificial demand, but I don't know, man. You know what I mean? So it's just funny. What do you think about that, Fedora?
I think that's. I remember Todd McFarlane made a joke a really long
Crazy.
time ago, and he
Uh-huh.
was saying that he signed so many Spawn number ones that it's going to be rare to have one that's not signed. So I've decided to not get my Spawn number one signed.
Hmm.
But like that's
That's cool. That's cool, man.
I mean, I don't know, bro. Because we have one, not, it's signed, obviously, but like we have one at the shop, and like no one really like. I know like a lot of hardcore Spawn fans come into my shop, and they're even like, "Yo, like this is like a Flim Flam book," you know. So I
Yeah.
don't know, man. I don't know how I feel about it, but I think Todd McFarlane is such a machine that 30 years from now, like kids are gonna be chasing the unsigned version of his books because they're
Uh-huh.
just gonna be rare.
I mean, it's a funny conversation to have, right? Because it oh, Michael, don't worry. I got you. Because it's kind of like one of those things where I like, obviously everyone else would want that signed by Tom McFarlane. Like, it's just such a weird thing to bid so much money on, you know? And then like kind of what I want to see Michael Baker is this is what I'd be afraid of. Like, if you paid $4,000 for, one of those books, there may be a stack somewhere. Like, who knows? It's just the thing about comic books and like just art in general. There's no like governing body to guarantee things. So ultimately, it's really easy to scam shit.
Like the whole Spawn, like NetherRealm
Anything,
Studios variant,
all that stuff. So I just think it's so risky to put that
to
much
pay that
money
much.
for that reason in an unregulated market. And Jason, I want you to talk about this one because, like, to me, you're more of a Spawn fan than me. But congrats to Big Clutch on this one. Shout out to Big Clutch. Spawn number 350 in the Employee Edition, and shout out to Michael Baker for providing this to me. 5,350, 30 bids in a 9.8. The story with this guy is that there are only 3 total 9.8s on the CGC census, and it's an employee edition. So I'm assuming you had to be employee to get this book. Do you guys even okay, Pickels, Jason,
Yes.
do you think this book is like cool looking?
Yeah. I mean, it's cool. I don't know if it's like $5,000 too,
I mean, right?
but it's cool.
I mean, I don't even know
I mean,
who
it
that
looks
is.
kind of like. I mean, it kind of looks like every other Spawn cover.
I know.
I mean, not that there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
Spawn covers are very, like, you can tell when you're looking at a Spawn cover versus
Yeah.
anybody else.
Sure. And Big Clutch did a really good job of, selling this. Okay, so it looks like there's 39 universal 9/8s here, right? So, and here's the other thing too, man. The 9/8 still commands a price. This isn't a 10.0. This isn't a 9.9.
Wait
It's
till
a
you see
9.8. So,
until you see the 9.9 start popping up.
I know, yeah, right.
Yo, they should when they buy it, they should resubmit it to get scanned for like a 9.9.
Yeah, right.
I mean, you already just burnt your money with like 5K. Like, what's another $25 more?
Yeah, you might be able to like triple.
Yeah, quadruple. I mean, who knows? That shit might be 10,000. Like,
The
like,
only 9.9.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, check this out. I've been told that CGC will no longer be grading these copies. So these are the only 3 Blue Label 9/8s that will be available.
What?
So,
Like, you can't do that. What the fuck?
What if you get
I
it
guess you
signed?
can.
What if you get it signed 9.9?
Oh my god.
Crack it open. And I want to get it signed. Hey, yo, CGC, like, yo, they be blowing minds, bro. Like, oh, we're no longer going to be signed. We're no longer going to be grading these. Like,
I wonder why though. Like, it's such a weird
be
rule to make, I don't know, but it's
I mean,
a new.
I feel like for that price, you can get like a 9. You can buy a 9.8 freaking Gunslinger first appearance. You can buy a 9.8 Spawn 1. You could buy like all of those
you buy
together.
a 9.9 Gunslinger.
Yeah, you can get all that together for that price.
Yeah, it's and yeah, I mean, like, right? It's okay. Oh, there's a seller update. Sorry, he said, update. Please note while there are only 3 copies on the census in Universal 9.8, there is a chance that TMP will submit Tom McFarlane or TMP will submit the remaining copies of the Spawn 350 Employee Edition they have on hand. I'm not aware of the Universal Signature Series. There could potentially be dozens of these on the census at some point in the future. Buyer beware. So yeah, I guess buyer beware.
But you know what? Now I retract that statement. Maybe they're doing that to prevent like people from like going like, oh, this is 50. Like, we got like 50 of this one per store super special dick edition.
Perhaps.
And then some jackass comes and goes, yo, I got a warehouse full of them. Let's grade them. And then CGC will be like, nah, bro, like you're a cancer. Like, hold that L, bro. So maybe it's a way to prevent people from manipulating the market. I don't know.
Sure. You know, the other thing too is like, I mean, I don't know when Spawn 350 came out, but like this book just came out. So it's like the market's moving like really quickly. And that's a lot of money, dude. That's it's a lot of money. So yeah, and Michael, I mean, buyer caution, right? Like, I kind of put, and I put this under the list because I was kind of a shout out to Michael Baker for sure, and I wanted to discuss it just for fun. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of uncertainty with this comic book. This could turn into like what Michael said, NetherRealm variant all over again in stock market kind of talk. This could be Nicola 2021 all over again.
Nah, the more I think about it, the more I kind of
2
see
months
why
ago.
TGC wants to stop grading them. So
Yeah,
and
it's
that
a good
makes
move by
sense.
them, honestly. Like if they're saying like if there's a little bit of like uncertainty with this, right? Like,
Mhm.
and the fact that a 9.8 goes for that much, I mean that's too hot in my opinion. We're about 35 minutes into the show. I want to thank all 12 of you guys supporting us on a Sunday. After the show, I will be getting some Chinese food. Fedora will be chilling out in New York celebrating the Knicks win today, and Pickels will be enjoying a huge steak, and not that tube steak, the
They
regular
got a
steak.
they got a closeout game coming up at the Garden here in a couple days
Yeah,
now.
yeah. Buy your
Yeah.
MSG stock as soon as you can.
Yo, bro, I'm telling you, man. I mean, I don't expect the Knicks to get past Celtics.
Yeah, Celtics are good.
Yeah, Celtics are like really, really good. I know
Yeah.
the Knicks had that injury,
Mhm.
but they're still playing well. So I'm really surprised that they're. But Emid, what was his name? I could never pronounce that guy's name from the Sixers. He dropped 50 last night, the other night.
Embiid?
Yeah, Embiid. There we go. Like, can he keep doing that? Like,
He played like 43 minutes today, they said. I was like, damn, dude.
What's
yeah.
wrong with it? Didn't he like break his like leg or something, or like what happened to
Yeah,
him?
he's like slowly ramping back up from injury. They're like, he's slowly ramping back up. I'm like, 43 minutes. He played like over 3/4 of the game. Like,
Slowly ramping up, huh? Yeah, that's crazy, man.
But can he drop 50 like
Every
with the
day?
next? Yeah, every
It's gonna
like
have to. It's gonna have to.
I don't know,
What's
bro.
up,
And
Renee?
then he was doing some sneak shit too, like injuring people and shit. I was like, yo, what's this fucking guy doing, bro?
Yeah. Fucking funny, man. Walking Dead number 19. I know I haven't watched the new Walking Dead series or whatever, but I've talked about the Walking Dead number 1 as a previous like, key, what have you. But I kind of dig this as a key more than the first one. And it looks like the market's still pretty high on this, for current prices. First appearance of Michonne, Walking Dead number 19. The cover is like perfect, right? With the show. If you're watching the show back in the day. A 9.8 sold for $425, guys. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I thought I was like, wow, for that much.
Yeah, right?
I have to double take.
Jason, before we lose you, I'll go to you as you're basking in the sun in Las Vegas.
I know, I just like finally cleared the building, so it's like I got it on me now.
Dude, what do you would you pick up did you like the Walking Dead series 1 and 2? Like, what do you think of this book in particular as a key?
I did like the Walking Dead series. Are you talking about the book or the show or both, or does it matter?
Go with the show and then this book in particular. I'm just
So
curious.
I did like the show. Although I didn't finish it, I stopped paying attention kind of after the alpha beta. So I made it almost to the
Yeah.
end, but
Mhm.
after they passed that, I just didn't pay attention anymore.
Yeah.
I'll probably go back and do it. I haven't watched any of the spin-offs because I like at that
It's too
point it was
much.
kind of like, yeah, it was like 10 seasons of that or 11 or whatever they did, and then
So
to do
many.
all the spin-offs with the characters and like, I mean, I know that Daryl was like a fan favorite, but I'm pretty sure he like died in the books, didn't he? Or didn't they just create his character like out of nowhere? I can't remember.
He definitely didn't show up in the last issue. I didn't read the whole
I thought
series, but
Daryl was like a fake, like somebody that they just put in.
They
oh
just made
really?
him up.
Perhaps, yeah.
That's what I
You
thought. It
talking
was
about
like it was
Norman
something
Reedus?
like that.
Norman
Mm.
Reedus, right?
Yeah,
Norman,
Norman Reese. Yeah.
I think he was just like some dude that they just created for like all the girls to be like, oh,
Yeah.
it worked.
It's like
It worked.
Yeah. He's tight, man. He's good. His 9.8, 420 for 4.25. I mean, that seems pretty like good, I'd say. For an image, it's probably a little print because issue 19. I think it's a good price if you're a Walking Dead fan. And what Joe was talking about earlier, only a handful of, and I think that's like kind of tests to like, if you when I was looking through the Walking Dead like keys, like universally I think people can accept that Michonne is like a beloved like top 5 character of the whole series, whether it's the show or the comic book.
I heard that they were considering putting her in like a Mortal Kombat game. but then they went with like somebody else.
Really?
I think so. Like, listen, don't quote me,
Yeah.
but I think I've heard or like fans wanted her or something. Yeah, you could give that a Google. But I remember
No, it's
when
all
they
good.
were talking about like what characters that fans wanted. They were like there was like a lot of people wanted Michonne to be in like
Mhm.
Mortal Kombat
It
or some shit
it
like that.
it makes sense, and I wanna welcome a good friend of a homie, Darth Lopez. What's going on, man? And Chef Harris, what's going on, bro? I know you're working hard today, so thanks for joining us on a Sunday, man. Um, yeah, and I've actually heard that some of the spinoffs are pretty good. Um, I think I just like fatigue of like Walking Dead. Like I feel like AMC, man, do something different, dude. Like, that's just kind of how I am. But I did dig the alpha, the what do they call it? The alpha and omega, like that season. That was like my favorite season. Like definitely rewatchable. Cause like that alpha chick was freaking horrible. They were just a mean freaking like clan or like group. Super creepy. So moving on to the next one. Chew number 1. Do you guys remember this book and all the rumors coming out of it being optioned? Extremely different type of book. I never read it personally, but Fedora, I'm gonna start with you, man. Pickles, I'm gonna mute you for a second.
We have that book.
You guys have it? How much you guys have listed it for?
Yeah, way too much.
Really? How much?
Yeah, 300.
300 raw?
That was a pandemic price, I think. That was before
Yeah,
I
you're
started
probably right.
working there. That was before I started working there because I like but I know that that's what a 9.8 goes for. It's like around that ballpark because I remember some customer was like really wanted it,
Mhm.
and then I was like, dude, just get a 9.8. Like
Yeah,
that's
just do the extra.
yeah,
There's
$100.
there's a shitload of print runs. I didn't or versions of this. There's 4 different ones. So like, Fedora, you could, as a Grail collector, you could get the second, third, or fourth prints for considerably cheaper than the first print. That might be a way to go too if you're collecting this for your PC. There's tons. Like I said, there's tons of rumors of this being optioned, but I never read this book, to be honest. But I remember seeing this for fairly like kind of common like Instagram posts or what have you, but I haven't seen it in a long time, and so that's why I want to keep it to the show. Pickles, I'm gonna go to you real quick. This seems like your kind of book, man? What do you think about this book?
I don't think I ever read this one, honestly.
Really?
So it might be up my alley, but I don't know a whole lot about it.
So home dude like eats like stuff, and then he figures out like crimes that way by eating shit. It's like that's kind of what it is. I want to read it, just based
so
off of
funny.
that.
Imagine if that was you, like if you were the cop and showed up, be like, hold on. Yep, I know how this happened.
dude, like Yvette, like she'd be like sucking out the marrow and stuff.
Yeah, like roar. I know the answer.
Inside joke, very very inside. Everyone's like, "What the fuck?" I'll clip that and put Suzanne in it. But yeah, I just thought like if kind of a tough call to make this as like a Grail, quote unquote. But I thought it was important to put it out there because I remember a lot of people were talking about this book for a long time during the pandemic. So cool stuff. So I just want to put this out there. I know it's not really like a Grail, but like I want to put something like a little bit affordable. This could be a future Grail, and it's a death comic book, right? So G.I. Joe 213 from the IW series. This came out in 2015. I feel like it's an underrated story if you're a G.I. Joe fan, and with the Energon universe coming out, I think it's possible to like. For me, ever since the Energon universe came out, I wanted to read about like other books from previous like IDW series to see like what would be cool to read, or if there's like good stuff to kind of spec on. But this is underrated. It's 1999 Raw. It's a 3-part kind of mini series of Snake Eyes dying. Yeah, I think this could possibly be like, I don't want to say like a Grail, but kind of a fun like read. Of course, Doc Joe always gets the good stuff, man. I'm shocked he doesn't have it, but I thought the cover was pretty cool. Like AOA is just staying right there. And have you guys ever heard of this? Pickles, I'll start with you. Are you reading the Energon universe, and does this speak to you?
I haven't read any of the Energon universe stuff. I don't know what it is. Like for some reason, like I was big into GI Joes and Transformers and
Yeah.
stuff like that when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
But I think just because of the lack of me paying attention to it, or the lack of like me having access to like just the general, other than the movies that were coming out, like the
Yeah.
GI Joe movies that were all kind of bad, and the Transformer movies and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have a whole lot of access to it, and so I just kind of never really picked it back up.
Mm-hmm.
I know that people have been saying that like some of that stuff is pretty good reads. It's just for whatever reason. I think it's like it's almost the same feeling that I get from it's like when people are like, "Why haven't you watched X-Men '97 yet?" And I'm like, "I don't know, man. I was like super stoked to see it
Mm-hmm.
when it was leading up to it, and then when it released, I just haven't felt the want to watch it. I don't know
Yeah.
why."
Yeah. Um, well, you're a busy guy, so and I know you don't have that on your app to read, but man, I think you would dig it just knowing you and all that. I'm gonna be real quick. I'm gonna go to Fedora. Fedora, like, what is the reception of the Energon universe with like not so much as old balls over here, but like what about younger kids? Are they gravitating toward that series?
Not really, no.
Not really. Okay,
Unfortunately,
that's
I know
okay.
I know Transformers a little bit. Some of like the younger like kids are like into it, but I know it's mostly millennials and Gen X that are like really stoked about the Energon universe.
Okay.
Um, but I could see that changing just through word of mouth because it's been generally like really good,
Mm-hmm.
and I know that you know, a good book is it's gonna find its way to Gen Z, like regardless, right? So,
Right. Right.
um, but I know classic Transformers is like really big with like the younger kids.
Mm-hmm.
Not so much as like the newer stuff. I don't really know why the younger kids like some of the more retro stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but as far as like GI Joe, that's more of like a Gen X thing. Yeah, it's a Gen X thing. I know
Yeah.
millennials do like it; they're into it, but they're more into like the figures than they are into the comics. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, and it's interesting to hear that because I feel like the fact that the Energon universe is being written by Robert Kirkman, who wrote Walking Dead, is part of Hollywood. I thought that would give it a little bit more acclaim and kind of like potential. Um, and me being a skeptic, like I was kind of hesitant to read Void Rivals because there's all these like different like covers coming out and what have you. But I felt when I actually was able to pick it up and just read it from like a pure just comic book reader standpoint, I thought I couldn't put it down. It's and 2023 or 2024 has started off pretty well anyway, so I think that momentum across like the whole medium has really helped out GI Joe in general. With that said, not really a Grail this year. I just thought I want to point out something kind of different and maybe like a cheap read and possibly have some type of collectability down the road. All these books have sold so many books. Yeah, seriously, it is crazy, man. And Duke is so good. I think honestly, Cobra Commander out of all of the series coming out is my favorite one. Because Cobra Commander's kind of a funny dude, man. Honestly. We lost Pickles. He got jumped by some prostitute. So anyway. Here's an easy one for everybody. Albedo #2, the first Usagi Yojimbo. One of the most interesting comic books ever, in my opinion. I love the simplicity of this cover. I love that it kind of tells a story within the cover. 4K asking price of this book in raw near mint on the Bay. I don't really know how to price this book because of the
Didn't
rarity.
9.8 sell for like 10K or some shit like that?
Some amazing freaking. Well, let's take a look at currently what prices are, but I'm not sure if it went that high. But you might be right, man.
I remember one going for like really high, and I was like, yeah, that sounds about right.
And even the reprints go for like a lot of money, which is funny to me, but it makes sense, right? So I'll just do highest price. Oh, so Jason's phone shut down for being too hot. So that thought that was kind of funny. Okay, 9.0 March 9th went for 7K or best offer. Same 6,500. A couple days later, I bet the same seller possibly An 8.0 went for 5,500 best offer. You're gonna get considerably lower price for a number 3. That might be the way to go. But yeah, I mean, this book is like definitely one of those when I wanted to kind of show like a big book, and this is probably the biggest book um of the show list we have today.
Nah, yeah. So I was
Yeah,
I probably was right. At 9.8 probably did sell for 10K.
I feel like it should have gone for higher though, don't you think?
It might have been for higher, but I
Yeah.
remember a double digit like and then a comma. So
Mm-hmm.
um, it definitely went pretty high.
I
From
mean,
like the last I've seen.
I'd like fly down to Texas and like sell it at a golden auction, honestly. Like I wouldn't go eBay personally, but yeah, I mean this book, if I was like a huge TMNT like Usagi fan, I'd probably just get the foil reprint and just try and get a really nice copy of that. I don't know if you guys know, but whoa, damn, die game, Clippers and Mavericks, man. I don't know if you guys know. Is there multiple like printings of this book? Do you know, Fedora? Like
I don't
second
know.
or third prints? Yeah, I don't know
I don't really
either.
know too much about Usagi.
Yeah, he's a cool. I mean, it's funny that a samurai bunny has like stood the test of time as being like an A-list character from that world. So
Bunny bodyguard.
a bunny bodyguard who
That
talks
that's what
in.
that's what it is. Usagi Yojimbo.
Is that what it means?
Yeah, in English, yeah, bunny bodyguard.
Oh, I had no idea. That's kind of cool. Yeah, he's kind of a badass too. So, um, let's see. E2 Comic Clifter goes, I missed a chance to pick up Albedo for about $700 10 years ago. I'm still kicking myself. Hey man, like at the time you said $700 is not worth it to you at that point. Man, I mean, don't be too hard on yourself, man. I'm sure we've had close stories like that before. But you'll find another one, man, for sure. Maybe you'll find that Spawn 350 unsigned for like the same price, and they'll make up for it.
And yeah, and then you could just switch it.
Yeah, exactly.
You just switch it.
So I myself, Fedora, I'd say, Pickles does as well. We love our video game comic books, man. It's just more fun in my opinion. Like currently, like I'm just having a lot more fun just kind of getting into the hobby and all that. But so there's the Valiant put out a bunch of like books out for like video games, right? Technically this is the first appearance of Zelda. So I wanted to go with this one just because I felt like it was a more fascinating find versus Legend of Zelda #1. And I feel like this is a better deal in regards to like key grails, what have you. But #1 goes for 1,500, 9.8. Fedora, do you know much about this comic book personally, or no?
No. Honestly, is this the first appearance of Mario in a comic, or like
First appearance of Zelda,
right? Flip was the first appearance of Mario. Zelda, I mean, really? That's kind of undervalued, no? 150.
That's what that's what I was saying too, man. Like 1,500. Oh, 1,500 in 9.8. Sorry, it's kind of small.
1,500 and 9.8.
Yeah, but don't you think that's still a little undervalued? And then it's a comic book. It's not a magazine. It's a comic book. Considered.
You might be right. 1,500, 9.8. What does the first Zelda Valiant comic go for in 9.8?
Well, let's take a look. Let's see. Okay, so this is. I found one earlier for like a bigger price, but let's look for the Zelda. Hold on a second. So Zelda right there, 89.99. Zelda comic book 1.8. 818, 500. Okay, I guess it does go for a little bit higher. The second print actually goes for 500, but I swear I saw 9.8 go for a lot higher. I apologize, guys. I guess I was wrong, but okay, these are the ones I saw because those ones just ended. So yeah,
like go down 1,400.
This one back in February for $1,000, which I thought was really, really, really stupid.
Is that like a second print?
The second print went for This one went for 500.
And that's the second print.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think I would have got. I'd pay 500 for 9.8 Zelda's second print versus this one. Oh, it's a year later. That's why.
We have one, the second print at the shop near Mint.
Really?
Yeah.
How much?
200.
200. I think that's fair, honestly.
It's near Mint. It's near Mint. I looked at it.
Hey,
I was looking at it, so I was like, that's. And the customers walk by it all the time. Like they don't care about it. So I was like, it's interesting because like we have like a different clientele than like most comic book shops.
Still.
So like so it's interesting that like not many people know like about that book, and then they just chalk it up to like, this is not worth my money. So
I mean, like, I think, like, obviously, like, for me, when I go walk into a comic book store and, even before the knowledge I have, like, I'm always looking at the wall books to kind of get a gauge of where the market is for, like, that particular comic book store. Are they overpricing stuff? Are they, like, pretty okay? But it's also a gauge of, like, okay, they're going to put their best comic books on the wall. And so I'll kind of gauge that as well. I don't know. For me, like, I think this is more of a Grail than the Zelda #1, and evidently the market is too. So yeah, right.
I think so too.
I think Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was saying to add to what you were saying that like at first I thought that was like an appropriate price for it, but seeing how people are paying 1,000 for the Zelda #1 and like it's like about it seems that it's going from 800 to like 1,400. I would.
We lost you a little bit. I can't hear you. There you go.
No,
go ahead
again. Yeah. Somebody called me. That's. No, I was saying that I think that most people probably don't know about it. They don't really know that that's the actual first appearance of Zelda.
Yeah, I mean, like. Okay, hold on a second. AOA, I just made you I gave you a wrench. Just thanks for your support, man. Always love you having in the chats, dude. But yeah, I think, and Brad makes a good point too. It depends. I think we have a 2 cameo situation. I think that's true too. Hey, what's up, Soupy? No, man, you're right on time. You can always catch the rewind too. So yeah. I think the other thing too that doesn't do this for this book is that Zelda's not on the cover. However, you got Mario on the cover, so I think that kind of helps in my opinion. But anyway, the going rate for this book is around 1,500, 9.8. It's probably really tough to get in a really high grade because of the yellow cover. But like AOA was saying earlier, man, like earlier Nintendo appearances in comic books are gold. I prefer, and I don't know if Fedora does too, but I like hunting for the magazine appearances more than the actual comic book first appearances. But
I don't have a preference, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't have a preference.
I think just for me, it's just more. I find more value in finding them in magazines, and it's more fun for me to hunt down. But either way, well, we're about I'd say an hour into the show. I want to thank all 15 to 16 live that are joining us today. Myself, Pickels was here earlier, but the son got to his phone, so he's going to be trying to find some strippers and a good time in Las Vegas. We hope he's having a good time. Please hit that like button, subscribe, tell all your friends. We're almost at 2,500 viewed hours. We have about 100 more hours to go. So once we get there, or 630 subscribers, I'll do a giveaway as a thank you to the community and all your guys' support for us. So we're almost done with the show. This is actually the last book I put out here. Resident Evil #1, the first appearance of Resident Evil. Promotional giveaway. I'm actually bidding on this book right now. It's only going for $100 raw in an auction. Please do not bid on it. I'm just kidding. You guys can bid on it too. It's cool. But I'm always thinking of video game covers or video game comic books because I just think it's cool to pair the comic book with the video game and then like sell it or just have it as part of your collection. Fedora. Oh, it's a Marvel comic book. I messed up. Sorry, guys. I thought this was an independent run, but Fedora, have you ever seen this in the wild before?
No. The promotional video game comics, I've never seen any, like, ever.
Super hard. I've never seen this in the wild either, but I definitely obviously I'm trying to get it right. So the magazine was like the one done by Jim Lee on the cover, but dude, it's so hard to get that in high grade. That what the fuck is this? What am I looking at? What the hell?
Ada. It's Ada.
Oh my god.
It's the Zenoscope. The Zenoscope and Fairy Tales.
Oh my god. Sorry guys. Resident Evil number 1, 9.8 sold for 1,000. Best offer. For arguably a top 5, video game.
The manga. How much the manga sold for? 310.
These sets are 310. I mean, like that might be a nice alternative too, man. What do you think, Fedora?
I think anything Resident Evil, especially like when you get into like the comic realm, because they don't really do much comics with Resident Evil.
Right.
So I know that we had some Resident Evil comics released, like singles released by Tokyo Pop.
Yeah.
And we order a large amount of comics, like a large amount. Like we get more. Like, all right, so for example, a regular shop would probably get 10 copies of like Captain Marvel, right? We'll get like 50, if that makes any sense. So to put it into perspective, we order like heavy because we have a big clientele. And the Resident Evil comics, the last run that came out, we were getting like 5 copies a pop, like per month. I guess like the first issue we got 15 copies. Then the second one had like 5. And then it was just getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And so the print runs on these like video game comics are always super low.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, yeah. And Resident Evil has such like a huge fan base, but not many of the fans know that there's published Resident Evil comics, which makes them even more rare.
Right.
Because, there's nobody knows what it is. And if they see it, they throw it out or they fuck it up or they do whatever they do with it.
Right. Exactly. I just think it's like in the other series is like, I mean, be like, if you're trying to flip those, like, this isn't a flipping show, but like, be a little like careful, I guess. Like, look at the market. That's what I always do. For me, this book, as the reason I put it as a grail is because like, dude, seriously, like this is the original cover that I saw growing up as a kid, man, and wanting me to play the game with the lights off and all that. So yeah.
I'll add this. I'll say this. Remember, CGC, they're taking like you don't need some sweaty D-bag walking behind you to verify these signatures anymore. Yeah. And the guy who did that cover, the model that they based that cover off of, he's very active on Instagram. I'm pretty sure like you could message him and be like, hey, can I mail you my book? Can you sign it? I'm pretty sure that's something that he might be down to do. He's very active on Twitter. He recreated the picture recently on his like Twitter and Instagram. So if you could get him to sign it, send it off to CGC, get like a really high grade with the fucking guy that's pictured on the cover. It's an iconic video game cover, so like how many of his signatures you like it's never happened. You'll be the only one. You'll have a one of one signed book.
It'd be really cool. I mean, yeah. And I feel like the Resident Evil like medium, like it's always being revisited, right? Like either Netflix is redoing a show or like Hulu, and they keep fucking it up. But the reason they're going back to it is because, man, people like that shit. They like oh shit, Dallas is about to be down 3-1. My bad. Yeah, Seattle doesn't have a team, so I'm bitter. But I just think it's like it's always going to be consistent with, I mean, the video game came out in 1995, right? So it's been out for a very long time. There's always going to be a fan base with that. It's arguably a top 5 PlayStation game. When I think of like top 5 games, it's in that argument.
And as the video game adaptation shows, movies, we're seeing like an elevated. Now like a lot of these big like shows, like these big companies like Amazon, Netflix, they're getting the best writers, they're getting the best directors, they're getting the best of the best to work on these properties, because now after fucking 20 years, they're seeing that there's like potential, there's value in having video games go into live action like shows and things like that. So
I think
you could get that book now. That's a good investment.
I think for like speculation, this is like my hardcore, like I'm using my finance kind of like 101 and my comic book number one or like spec number 101. I'd like to look at like Capcom's like numbers and see like how well they actually do if I'm able to. And you know, if Apple were to acquire a Capcom or Acclaim or some type of like really well-known video game company that has a list of just very good titles or whatever, right? I would 100% buy every single first character in that like that particular brand because I feel like Apple, the quality of just stuff they do, even their Friday Night Baseball, like they just hit it out of the park every time. So if Apple were to acquire like some type of like Capcom, for example, I think that'd be the perfect marriage to spawn, you know, anything optioned. That'd be my biggest spec of like, you know, whatever. I don't know if it would ever happen, but like I gotta imagine they'd be thinking about something like
or
that.
just any big
Amazon's done it.
studio. Yeah, any big studio that just comes out as like, yo, we want to buy all the live action rights. So whatever. And I think we're gonna see that soon. Like it's gonna happen. There's gonna be somebody with a lot of money, Amazon, Netflix, Apple, because they got Apple Plus, Apple TV, whatever the fuck they got.
Yeah, and they don't have a lot of shows actually on Apple for the amount of money they charge. And I think it's because it kind of falls into their like, we don't put out too much stuff unless it's really good quality. And so like that's why I'm thinking like if Apple ever does anything, dude, Darth Lopez, you are 100% on it, man. I can't wait for Acapulco to come out May 1st as the funniest fucking show I've seen in forever. There's, I mean, just like rent Apple for like a month and just, if you disagree with me, I'll send you something. Like seriously, it's that good. There's a show for everybody, and it's not like you can do sci-fi. I mean, Acapulco is freaking hilarious. Ted Lasso is like one of the greatest shows I've seen in the past 10 years. There's that Quest show. I forgot it is, but that's fucking hilarious too.
Idris Elba had like a show in all black and white.
Idris Elba had a pretty good show on there too. There's like a couple duds, but like nothing compared to like, Apple show Quest. Let's see here. Mythic Quest. That is the funniest freaking show. And look at all of them, man. They're all good. Yeah, Seth Rogen and Rose Byrne, man. They're fucking awesome. That's our show today, man. I want to thank everyone that came through live for us. Invasion is fire too, man. It's good, very good show. There's a Silo is a good show also. That's a really good show I like. But and Michael Baker, man, thanks for being like 10% of the show, man. Like I had to post that, and actually shout out to you, dude. Like you kind of inspired me to do this part 2 of Grails. So man, if you guys see anything crazy like on Instagram or whatever, like hit me up and I'll post it on the show and give you shout outs. And yeah, just glad to be able to do this show a little bit later today. We'll hopefully Fedora will be gone next week. He has to do some work and all that. But Fedora, do you got any like, I know your FOC call was amazing last week. It was #1 on a couple shows. I think it was #1 on the Stein show. Yeah. So congrats to you on that one. I saw a couple FOC shows that claimed they're the best in the past 3 years, but I don't really agree. But
books are like not it.
It's childish. It's kid spec in my opinion.
It's like we still have like copies of them. I know some guy came in and he was like, "Oh, I'm looking for a gift for my friend. He likes Black Cat." And I was like, "Yeah, buy this Art Adams cover." And he was like, "Yeah, sure." And then he bought it. Like, so it wasn't even like somebody like that that was actually there to spec. It was just like a guy gifting a friend like a nice, cool cover. You know, so it's just, and then I sold it to him. So it's not like he came in looking for it. Like, oh yeah, you got these covers, and it was just like the Mystique cover was like whatever. It looks nice, but is it like $60 nice? Like no, bro.
No, it's baby spec, man. So I don't know, Darth Lopez. We do like Fedora is like the man. Like it's not. I give him 100% like credit for all he does, man. He's always trying to find something like once every month that's gonna hit.
Yeah, one.
Just because like we don't want to fuck you guys over, man. We want to try and help everyone, make money or, to have quality like investments, quote unquote. But man, Darth, if you're ever down to come kick it on the show, man, I'd love to hear your commentary about shit. You don't got a show. You can do whatever, man. Maybe I'll hit you up on Instagram and see if you come through. But
yeah, you can take my place next week, bro. Because I'm gonna be working 12 to 7, so unfortunately I won't be there. But if you want to like be a guest on the Sunday show,
if he's down, maybe I'll hit him up and see if he can come through. I know he's got a lot of stuff to do too, but Fedora, we'll miss you next week, man. But you gotta do what you gotta do to work and stuff. So.
Money. But yeah, just to close this out, it's like really hard to like just be consistent with.
It's really hard.
Yeah, so I just see like a lot of these like shows, and there's some like shows that are kind of FOC, but not really. They just showcase some of the books that are coming out, and I follow like those books, but there's also like a lot of stuff that I could see in like real time, like what's going on, like what customers are talking about, and all that other stuff. So I'll make my moves from there. But I rather do like one cover bi-weekly or one cover a month.
And that's the way you should do it, man. Yeah. Because people get like, they get antsy to get what the next one is, and yeah, man. What I will say, if you do like FOC, I mean, I know like Black Crown does a really good FOC show. He's going on later tonight. Trev does a really good show. I don't know if he's in the chat still, but I like his show. It's very chill, very like community like. And I also say like Lefteros, he has the best descriptions of FOC that like I've always liked, because he says like, he doesn't say like buy this book. He just says, he presents it out. And then he says like first appearances, or like this covers a 1 in 25. Like this is what it goes for. That's the way you should do FOC.
It's not like a top 10. It's just okay. Like, it's like these are the books that are coming out.
Yeah, and that's the way you should do it.
And like if you think this is worth it, you FOC it. It's not like this is the top 10 that you should do because like it's ridiculous. Like
it's like Jim Cramer shit, man. You can't do that stuff, man. That's just like impossible.
And then try and like sell it back to people.
That's the worst part about it, man. That's the worst part about
college, bro.
But like, for real.
But anyways, mixtape baby. Mixtape baby.
I don't even know what that means, but like, mixtape baby. Dolan, we're coming for you.
Yo, fuck you, Dolan. Fuck you. You got your little fucking sexual harassment case going on. And that's why the Knicks are winning, because they wanted to like he was like, yo, I need y'all to play, bro. I need y'all to play. Like to get this heat off me. I'm telling you. But if they can make it to the Celtics, that would be like crazy. That would be like the craziest shit I've seen in like the last 15 years from the Knicks.
Really?
So, yeah, bro. That's big, bro. That's huge. I can't even remember the last time I seen the Knicks enter the playoffs at that high of a spot. What were they like in the standings? They were like number 2, number 3.
I got you.
Like
mixtape, baby.
Mixtape, baby.
All right. Well, you guys all have a great Sunday. Again, thanks everyone for your support. We're trying to get 2,500 hours. Try to get the monetization mark. We'll see. And I'm gonna do a different ending tonight. So y'all take care. Fedora, have a great weekend next weekend. I'll talk to you on everything else, and y'all have a great night.